More than 2 decades after Zimbabwe's explosive land reform program forced over 4,000 white commercial farmers off their properties, the government is now pitching a compensation deal it says will finally close the chapter. Officials claim the agreement is locked in, structured, and rolling forward, but the farmers insist the payments are just tiny crumbs tossed out for international show. They want real numbers, real action, and real follow-through before anyone pretends the wounds are healed. Because if you think that tension was heavy, wait till you hear what the farmers want in return. Those same farmers are signaling they're open to helping Zimbabwe get long-standing U.S. sanctions lifted, but only if the compensation they're owed is fully honored. Their message is basically, sure, we'll help you fix the diplomatic mess, but cut the check first. They say the government is presenting half-truths to the world, paying just enough to look respectable without addressing the massive financial and emotional losses they've carried for years. Now buckle up, because Washington just slid into the story with its own demands. The U.S. House of Representatives recently introduced a bill that could remove sanctions from Zimbabwe, but there's a catch the size of a freight truck. America wants Zimbabwe to compensate dispossessed white farmers fully and transparently before any political relief kicks in. No shortcuts, no smoke and mirrors accounting. In short, Washington's saying if you want the door open, show us the receipts, the progress, and the complete payout plan. But that's not all, because the farmers themselves have stepped deeper into the fight. Multiple farmer representatives say they're ready to personally help Zimbabwe negotiate with U.S. officials, especially with those who still view the country with raised eyebrows. They argue they aren't enemies of Zimbabwe. Many insist they stayed because it's home. They want stability, unity, and clarity. Their stance? Pay us fairly, and we'll stand beside you in Washington. It's a weird alliance, but one built out of necessity, survival, and long-term national stakes. And speaking of stakes, the president had something spicy to say about those sanctions. Zimbabwe's president recently blasted U.S. sanctions as a suffocating force dragging the nation's economy downhill for over 23 years. He claims the restrictions cripple investment, weaken reforms, and slow recovery. His push is straightforward: remove the entire sanctions regime, create economic breathing room, and allow Zimbabwe to function like any other nation. But critics argue compensation disputes, political cracks, and internal disagreements show the country isn't ready for that level of trust just yet. But before you think this is just politics as usual, the on-ground reality paints another picture entirely. Despite the government's claims, many farmers say only a tiny number of desperate individuals have received partial payments, nowhere near what's owed. They argue the compensation system is slow, confusing, and designed more for optics than justice. Many families remain financially crippled, displaced, and emotionally exhausted. They want real engagement, real auditing, and real long-term plan that doesn't leave their future tied to empty promises and dusty paperwork. And that brings us to the heart of the entire showdown. At its core, this standoff is about identity, survival, politics, and national history. White farmers want their rightful compensations. The government wants sanctions gone. The U.S. wants accountability. And everyday Zimbabweans want stability. Until every side sees genuine movement, the tension sits like a ticking clock. What happens next could reshape not only Zimbabwe's future, but the global conversation about land rights, justice, and economic recovery. If this story hit you with some truth, smash that like button, drop a comment with your take, and subscribe to Global Pulse News for more bold, sharp, high-energy world insights. Every week, no fluff, all facts.